Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Doyce, and welcome back to Project Ozone 2. In the last episode, we have been working on some automation, for one, as well as getting access to, some of the supplies we're going to need for some of these bigger dire crafting recipes and whatnot. I'm specifically focusing on the neutronium compressor and the infinity catalyst so that we can get the wand of animation. Once we get this thing, it's a game changer. You'll see why once we get there, but that is like goal number one for me. Once we can get that, we never have to worry about EMC again, and it's gonna make this entire series a lot easier. But for right now, it's kind of a pain. So as you can see, we have 35 neutronium ingots. We're going to take some of this stuff and we're going to make some of these plates. We need a lot of plates, and we currently have 4. So we're gonna be very slowly making neutronium compressors, and it's this entire row that needs to be taken care of. So we're gonna need what, 7, 10 more. So that's not terrible, but that's 80 more neutronium. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Kind of continuously been getting more vibranium and all of that kind of stuff as I can. So what are we going to do today? Well, last time we were working on Planet Logistics, the storage components, both for the extra cell stuff and the normal ones. Well, I guess they're all extra cells, but the gas and fluid ones as well as the normal ones. And I brought everything up to 64K because that was going to take a while anyways. And hopefully we have enough stuff here to finish this craft up. So basically what we're going to be doing is getting the next tier, which I believe it's something like this. I could be completely wrong, but I hope I'm not. Nope. Okay, so 256 storage cells. Now, we can't just upgrade those immediately because we need to get the 256 storage. But in order to do that, we're going to need something else. As you see, we need to make advanced storage housings. So that's actually really easy to do. So we'll get those. And we'll go ahead and craft one with that. Be able to claim the quest, and then pop it out and repeat. So we should be able to do this pretty easily. So there's 1024. So there's that storage. I don't think we're ever gonna need this much storage, but you know what? Maybe we will. I don't know. We're gonna do some weird things today. Some minor changes and whatnot. I don't think I need all this glowstone ingots. I think 4 stacks would have been more than enough. But now we have 4096. And the final one is... Well, first we have to pop it out. The final one is the one that is EMCable. So the 16384K storage requires 16,384,000 EMC. That's a lot. And so, not a big problem, but we can go ahead and craft this so we can have the storage cell. We're going to take, let's see, which ones should we take? Let's take the middle. No, yeah, let's take middle today. I always end up taking the middle reward bags, but we can put all of this stuff away now. I want to pop this guy out of there, and he is going in here. So we have the top tier of all of the storage components that we can then recycle for EMC as needed. And you know what? That's really all there is to it. So how far backed up is this? Oh, it's trying to fill up the Zavisio essence. That's good. Alright, so I've been letting this run again. One of the big things that we're going to have the problem with is power. That's going to be kind of a main thing we're going to worry about today. But I want to get the applied logistics stuff done today before we really did anything else. Now, if we want to make the wireless crafting, we're going to need 2 of those. So I don't really want to make that today. That's going to be an absolute pain to do. So we'll worry about that another time. Anyways, let's go ahead and open this legendary reward. And we got another Chaos Catalyst. That is really nice. These things, we're going to need a lot of them, and they're not cheap. But more importantly, we're going to need them for, really? Oh, right here. Yeah, right, dire stuff. Ooh, that would be nice to have. The Tome of Knowledge. This is very, very powerful. But before we can do that, we need to get the Transmutation Tablet, which is an absolute pain. We're going to need Infinity Stars and other things, and it's just, ugh, it's bad. But we only need to do like one of those for the time being. So we need Chaos Catalyst for the Dire Auto Crafting Table. How do people do this stuff? A lot of these things are just so ridiculously expensive. It makes me wonder how long it's going to take us to get through it. But that is our second Chaos Catalyst. We also have a Chaos Ingot, so that's really nice. So let's see, what do I want to do next? Next thing, let's go ahead and make all of the Impulse Hopper stuff for the what is it called? For the Impulse Hoppers for the controllers. That's what we're trying to make. So what do we need for this? Let's actually just Impulse Hopper. So the controller, it requires these guys, and I realize we need to do something like this. Actually, I have exactly enough of the Franken zombies, so that is what we'll base everything on. But everything else, I think we have exactly what we want, more or less. Not quite though, so we'll see. Just start with 2 stacks and then we'll see where we're at. We just need to figure out what is... It's 2 electrical steel and 1 iron. Alright, so most of the stuff isn't too bad to do. And then we can figure out what all we need to actually like replenish our supplies of and whatnot. So just get rid of everything that is not what we are currently working on. And now we should be able to make the Impulse Hoppers. Recipes times 2. So unfortunately we have to automate, we have to make those manually. Well, we could automate it, but it's not really worth it. Because these Impulse Hopper framework controllers. So let's see, that's good. Let's see, 32 there. And I don't know how we had 34 there. Actually, we want 34 in all of them. So we need, how many more do we need? We need 13 there, and we need 33, so that's 46. We do need exactly 46. So I have exactly enough of this stuff. So we're going to need a little bit more machine casings. Let's go ahead, take these guys out for a moment. We just need 46 of these. So that goes there, there. And that will work just fine. $46 of those. I almost did that perfectly. And it's like that. Okay, so we can put the, how many hoppers do we have in here? We have 10. You know, we can put the rest of the hoppers in there. So we're gonna need a little bit more electrical steel and a little bit more iron. Now the iron we can just make, like grab from the system, because we have plenty of that. So lots of crafting. And then we can convert everything back. Yeah, we have like, I don't know, almost 100,000 iron. Yeah, I think we can manage that. And then here is the rest of the impulse hopper ducts. Now making the number I am of these is exactly how many we're going to need with all the recipes. So once we get to that point, it'll be fine. So there we go, 34 of everything. As you can see, I've been working on getting the crystal matrix ingots. And once we have all of that, we can just kind of craft things as needed. Once we get the neutronium. The neutronium is the stopping point for us right now. So with that taken care of, we can break this guy and call him a day. So we'll get to power. We're gonna make a fairly large power system down here. All of our power is going to actually be down here. We'll get to that very soon. But before we do, what I want to do is I want to head to the last millennium. And we're going to do a little bit of work with our farm. So I want to kind of show off what I'm planning on doing with the farm. And then we'll kind of talk about what all we want to do with this. So currently we are still sending stuff through. But I'm going to turn this farm off in particular. So I needed to bring some supplies. And we're going to grab, I forgot to grab wires and stuff like that. So let's go back and grab some conduits, both of power and item. And I have a whole bunch of advanced filters. So what we're going to do is each field is going to get its own compactor. We're going to move the chunk loader. So actually, let's break this guy. And where's kind of center-ish? I mean, F9, we could put it like right here. That would be fine. We'll just do this just to make sure everything's bright. But if we want 3 chunks, let's see, what is the radius for that is actually just fine. Cool. So that's what we're gonna do. So this entire area will be chunk loaded with that. And then what we can worry about is if we break this, instead of sending things out through here, we can start sending things out through here. And now the question is does the compactor, one, he's not going to get power, but let's turn this on for a second and see where all the items go. Do they go in here? They do. Perfect. Actually not perfect. We're gonna remove this guy. So let's grab all of this stuff. And I don't want to break too much. And let's put him in the floor. And then we'll just put an item conduit here. And how do I want to do this? Because I want to do this with the least amount of filters. So for this one in particular, we have how many seeds? We have 1, 2, 3. We have we have ardite, cobalt, manulin. So ardite, cobalt, manulin, draconium, alamite, nether star. Okay. So manulin is not useful for anything but manulin ingots. Ardite is not useful for anything except for ardite ore. And I expect the same things with cobalt, draconium, and alamite. So the only one that's... And yeah, so all of these are going to be exported. We don't actually need any filters for this. What we'll do is we'll use filters for things like, for example, let's take a look at essence. Now this is completely and utterly like not a thing we need to worry about really, but air essence. Air essence is a great example. Air essence is something that we're going to need raw, for one, for the catalyst, as well as it's useful for making snow, as well as it has... Okay, maybe air isn't the best, but earth is. Earth has shapeless recipe. It makes clay, dirt, cobblestone, sand, dust, gravel. So it has a whole bunch of different uses. So we want to keep that in like dye essence, in their natural form. So we're going to use the compactor for everything that isn't. So this one in particular is going to be for everything. And it's going to get power from down here. And then we'll just extract always active. Perfect. So for right now, we're going to keep this guy off, and I'll show you why in a second. But we're going to want 3x3 recipe first. So we put that all in there. We'll see in here, we'll get a bunch of stuff. Now, that's not too much of a problem, but it is going to be a little bit of a problem. So before we can turn this guy back on, which I want to do, let's, you know what, put a bunch of item conduits in here. And I don't think that we're going to need more power. This guy doesn't use... No recursive. Always on. This guy doesn't really use any much power. So I don't think we're going to need... as long as we have like a windmill for each section, I don't think we're going to need a lot of like power conduits or anything like that. So let's quickly make a bunch of item conduits just to have them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch out a lot of these drawers. So all the drawers are set up to hold mass quantities. Well, we're gonna start removing some of these mass quantities of stuff. So for example, cobalt ore. We're gonna need our... And you know what, let's also grab, let's see, we can grab a nether star from in here. And we're going to want our key. Drawer key, which is in here. And for the time being, this is going to be bad if we wait too long. How is that? Is that actually going up and around? I think it is. We're going to turn that off. So we have to act fairly quickly. But what we're going to want to do is, for example, cobalt essence. We're going to want to take all of this out. And there's a lot of it. So actually, you know what we'll probably do? Let's keep it locked for now. We shouldn't get any more cobalt essence going in. So let's see, how's this doing? It's okay for right now. Let's do one that's going to be a little bit easier. So nether star, right here. We can take all of that out. It's not going to try to put anything else in there. We can put the nether star in there and lock it. So now nether stars will go in there. I think a lot of the other ones are going to be a little bit of a pain. So let's just put always active. So we're going to want cobalt, ardite, manulin, alamite, and draconium. And what we can do is just come over here, and let's just start with cobalt, and we'll just make stacks upon stacks of the essence, and just try to drain the drawers of all the essence. So that's kind of the idea. I'll do a lot more of this off camera. For all the farms, I'll set up to all the farms before next episode. I'll try to anyways. But it's going to be kind of a pain because of this. But actually, this is almost done. And then we can replace all of the essence with actual cobalt ore. So that is kind of the plan. And we'll have to do this for Ardite and Manulin and all that fun stuff as well. So for now, we have to turn this guy back off. It's important to do that because we don't want anything else replacing this. And we can lock it. And then start, you know, filling it up with the ore. And whatnot. So you kind of get the idea. I don't know if we need to worry about that right now, but always active. Cobalt ore will get put through. So that's kind of the idea, and we'll get the rest of that stuff done later. So I'm going to put this stuff in here for right now. Actually, no, let's put it in here. And I'll clean up the rest of the essence off camera and all that fun stuff. But for the rest of the episode, what I want to work on is I want to get power. So we have some capacitor banks in here. We have 20 vibrant capacitors. I'm going to take all but one. I think I put one in here. Yeah. So we're going to take all these capacitor banks, and we're going to want reactor stuff. So this is going to be the fun part. First thing we need to do is we're gonna break this. We are going to take out all of this and eject all the fuel. And how much fuel is left? There's a little bit, so let's activate the reactor for all of a few seconds. I realized that if we don't put a bunch of fuel in there, we can't necessarily get all of it out. So we're going to wait just a few seconds. And eject the fuel. I just want to kind of be efficient about using it all. And we need to do something about all this stuff because we're going to have... It's going to continue running for a little bit. Actually, we're just going to waste one ingot. It's not that big of a deal. We are going to waste, like, what? How much is that? 10 million RF? So let's just deactivate the reactor. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab a ton of... Well, we need reactor casings. We're going to want a lot of reactor casings. And we can make this stuff in here. It shouldn't be too bad. But we're going to make a gigantic reactor. So I guess what we should do, let's save some of this stuff. You know what, the reactor stuff can go up here. So your reactor casings, reactor, don't care about the coolant port, don't care about the glass, don't really have a use for that. We can throw the yellorium in there for now. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up a gigantic reactor on this side, I think. And it's going to stretch this entire little area all the way up. It's going to be a very massive reactor. And what we're going to do is we're going to then have a bunch of capacitor banks over here. Just to store a ton of power. And eventually we might want to like do something different with this, but we'll kind of worry about that later. They can be a little bit laggy, a little bit finicky at times. So hopefully we don't run into any problems, but there is always that potential. So the reactor itself, let's see, let's go like 3, and it'll be like yay big. So decently sized, I'd say. And we'll have power and all that kind of fun stuff wherever we need it, and then just kind of make a gigantic reactor. This will provide us with a ton of power, and that's what we want. We want a lot of power coming in, because that's going to allow us to, well, it's going to allow us to do some really fun stuff. So let's make sure we have plenty of torches around the edge of this. Just overload this area with torches, because the actual casings don't care about spawning. Nothing can spawn on these casings, so it's fine. And I want to make sure, if we look at chunk loaded, this area is chunk loaded, so that's what we want to see. Just put some more torches over here. So we're just going to put a layer of stuff down to begin with. And this is going to take a lot of reactor blocks. As you can see, we're already out. And this is going to be just gigantic. But that's good. That's what we want. So why is there 5 essence still? That's weird. And here we have all of this. We can go ahead and make some more nether stars. Throw in there, get plenty more reactor casings. This is one of the biggest things that we're going to need a lot of, is the actual casings. But we'll get this taken care of, and then we can start building up the reactor as we want. I don't have a good design. I know things that I typically do are usually pretty effective, and we'll kind of plot it out as we go. This is not going to be horribly efficient. In fact, I'm probably going to be really bad about how I make this. I haven't pre-looked up anything or anything like that, so it's just going to be whatever I come up with on the fly. But I know kind of the general idea of how to make a good reactor, so that's what we're gonna do. So first things first, we need to build up the outside, and yeah, we don't have enough control rods, we don't have enough blocks in general. Oh man, this is gonna be expensive, but it should be well worth it. So once this guy, he's not going to drain his power very quickly. How can we drain power a little bit more quickly without being ridiculous about it? Probably one of the best things we could do right now is set up, you know what? Can I get, yes, I saw them, cryo-stabilized flux ducts. We're going to want some of these. Okay, we have a lot more of this stuff than I realized. We're going to want some cryo-stabilized flux ducts to power into our capacitor bank, because this guy is going to provide a lot of power. Now we're also going to need to put things for, so controller will go right here. We'll have the power tap honestly right here. We'll have, I guess, input, output, like so. And that should be good. So we can build up the rest of the stuff No problem. And you know what? No, actually, we're going to do one more, just in case. We're going to have a redstone control. I believe I have that particular block, whatever. So we'll look into that as well. So we just need to kind of clean this up. And again, mobs don't spawn on the reactor block, so it's not a big deal. But this is a massive, massive, massive reactor. It's not nearly like the size of a max size one, but it is still pretty large. And I almost never make turbines because I'll be honest, I don't really know how to make good turbines. So that is kind of a thing that I should point out, that turbines would actually be better in this situation. But that being said, I don't really care. So let's just clean up this. And we honestly should have enough of this stuff for the rest of it. So let's get some other blocks, such as we're going to need the fuel rods. So at can we just do at mod? What if I search it? Can I do big reactors? I can. So we don't have any of the stuff for that currently. We shouldn't need any more reactor casings, but we have those just in case. Do I have a redstone thing in this? No, I don't think so. Did I never make a redstone control? What are they called? So let's get rid of the essence. Redstone. Just do reactor. Wow, I can spell reactor. What is it called? Redstone, the power tap, rednet port, computer port, redstone port. Okay, that's actually really easy. So let's make one of those. And do I want to EMC these? Honestly, no. I don't think we'll need to. So this basically just lets you power on and off the reactor with redstone. Pick a setting, toggle reactor. Set from signal. Okay. So if we want to do that, that is something we can do. Really ugly graphic, but very useful. So kind of the plan for down here, we're going to have our reactor supplying power. We'll probably drop the power off from a tesseract to go throughout the entire base, and then we'll have backup power. And the backup power will literally just be backup. It's just to kind of ensure that we don't run out of power in case we run out of fuel or something like that, which I don't think will happen, but you never know. So I guess, let's see, how much power does this guy have? He still has a lot of power. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna build a new dimension. So this is something I've been meaning to do anyways. And what we're going to do is let's grab we're going to need an empty dimension tab. But this will burn power. Empty dimension tab. Right there. So these are very cheap. And what we're going to want is, let's see, dimension inscriber. So we're going to call this bedrock geom. And for this, what we're going to want the liquid, is it liquid? No, it is molten. Liquid molten bedrockium. It is a tier 4, but it requires 100,000 RF per tick to maintain. we're going to want effect none, because we don't want anything bad to happen while we're in there. Let's see, effect none. We have plenty of those, which is always good. And then we're going to want to cycle back to this, and what we're going to want is feature huge liquid orbs. Now, there are some things that could be bad in this, but we put effect none, feature, and that's the way you do it. So you do the liquid and then the feature. You have to put in front of the feature. So can we do multiple liquids? I think we can. I actually don't know. Is there anything that we'd really want? Honestly, not really. Because a lot of the things that would be really good to have, like Terrasteel, we have seeds for that. So it's not really that important. Zephyrium and Erothium, we have cows. Like, yeah, we're not really too concerned with that. So we'll get to name this again. Bedrockium. Store. And this is going to require just actually 200,000 RF per tick to maintain. That's actually really cheap. And what it's going to allow us to do is get a ton of Bedrockium. Theoretically, anyways. So what we can do now is this will drain a good bit of power. And once this runs out of power, we're just going to stop. I actually don't want to use up all of our power. So we'll put this with the dimlets. And we'll kind of worry about that later. So let's start breaking this. Do we really need the cyanide reprocessor? At this point, we don't. So I guess let's just use these as blocks. Please don't break the red quartz. F7 on or off. I can't tell. Okay, it is on now. So we're going to put some more lights around here. And this guy is done. So let's go ahead and break him. And we were using, in this one, Resonant Ender. Now, Resonant Ender is actually really good to use. But there's some things about it that could be better. So we'll have to extract the stuff from that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and keep one of these guys in here. Let's go ahead and dump off this stuff for now. So let's just throw like a handful of those in there. I don't think we're gonna need that many. So we're gonna need a, do we have a fluid vac? I think we do, yes. And we have Resonant Ender. Cool. So that's a good way to get rid of liquids, right? So we're going to use a combination of Resonant Ender and, well, combination of Resonant Ender and the Jelly Cryothium. That's the other one that we're going to use. So reactor, access ports, we can take those, power tap, and controller. Now I actually do want to duplicate the controller just so we can do this a little bit easier another time. Right, these are very expensive because they have things in them. So let's put an access port. Let's duplicate one of those. And eventually we'll be able to get rid of a lot of this stuff just as we want to, because we won't need to worry about like We won't need to worry about keeping one of everything because we'll have the Transmutation Tablet. That will keep things for us. So, let's see. We need Diamond Essence, I guess. 2 stacks of that should be enough for another controller. Hopefully. There we go. Alright, so we have the 2 controllers. We can put one away. Alright, and that's pretty much everything we'll ever want. So we can go ahead and start building our actual reactor over here. So that goes there. We'll have an access port. We need a second access port. We're going to need the power tap. Fluid vac can go away. And we're gonna need a second access port plus a bunch of these. So we get like a stack or so. That'll be enough for now. And we can start messing around with how we want to place these. So one of these guys will be input. Let's say that one's outlet, input. That's fine. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to have, how do we want this? So typically what you want is you want one liquid on the outside and then one liquid in between. And I can't remember the order, if it's gel cryothium on the outside and resonant ender on the interior or the other way around, but we're going to want something like this. So this was a stack to begin with, and it just so happened to make this perfect. So what I will have to do, and I'll do this between episodes, is just go through this and fill it up with all the liquids we want to the top. That's going to be a bit of a pain, but I'll manage. We want to break this so we can subtract 60 from it, or 60, well, subtract it from 64. So we know exactly how many we need. So it's 53. Alright, and then we can just kind of do this the entire time and it'll be fine. So I will have a lot of work to do with this, but it really won't be too bad. The hardest part is going to be the fact that we probably need to break open all of this. What's above here? There's not much above here, so that's good. But this is going to be a very long and tedious thing. So I need to remember what goes where when it comes to the jelly-cryothium and the resonant ender. But isn't there an opposite of a fluid vac? Or does this place stuff as well? Yes, so we can change the mode and place liquids. So that's really nice. So that's something else I'll have to do between episodes. And honestly, that's probably going to be where we stop for today. We need 53 of these. So let's grab, emeralds are also really good to use for EMC at this point, because we're getting quite a few of them from our essence farm, and they are pretty high up there on like value. Alright, so we have a stack. We can just make the rest out of it however we want. And yeah, this will be fine. So we'll just throw all this stuff in here. We'll get plenty of Yellorium fuel rods. I will just need to get kind of the rest of the stuff set up. The biggest thing is just getting this filled up with the liquids. So that'll be kind of my project between episodes. And next time, I hope to have this guy finished. as well as the farms, and we will kind of go from there. So how close are we to a neutronium compressor? Not very. 6 out of 80. So it's going to take some time, but hopefully the off-camera work will help with that. Next time, what we're going to do, though, is probably a little bit of dimension exploring to help with the EMC and just whatever else we can manage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!